Alright folks, how's it going? It's Des Catties. I'm out in the shed. Quite recently I've been watching quite a few of Neil Andrews' Greencraft, Bushcraft YouTube channel, and I must admit, when I watch his channel I often find that what I tend to want to do, I almost feel like a child that has to go to confession because I've shot next door's cat up the arse with a catapult. I'm going to confession to, you know, to confess different things. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes I watch Neil's channel and they're brilliant, great videos, very informative, especially for newcomers and stuff like that. Get some great ideas from him. But I often find that because he's doing stuff on a budget, is that really what I need to do is get all my gear, put it into my garden and burn it, and then start again and just make everything. And I'm certainly not dissing that. I think, you know, I think it's a really good idea. And like most of us, you've seen my videos in the past when I'm out in the shed and stuff like that. Tales from the shed. If you haven't seen them, I'll stick a card up, go and have a gander. And I did them during lockdown and stuff like that, just to sort of for morale and stuff like that. Digressing slightly, but I like some of the stuff that he comes out with, and the idea of making stuff as well. We all like playing around making stuff. I certainly do. I've got mates around me that like doing the same thing, and there's nothing more rewarding when you're making your own gear. The only thing I will say with Neil's stuff, that sometimes you might need to get a sewing machine to obviously make some of the products, but other than that, some great ideas. So I'm not dissing it, and Neil, I'm not blowing smoke up your arsehole, but it is a good channel. I'll stick a link down below, and there it is. Anyway, the point of this video, I'll get to it now, is I want to talk about fuel bottles. Now it's Neil that kind of put the seed in my head, so stay tuned. Right, so as you can see there then, right, I've got a series of fuel bottles. Some of them are kind of bottles that I've literally just found. I mean, this one, for example, it was a vodka bottle. I don't drink vodka. I didn't raid my drinks cabinet because I hate the stuff, but my wife loves vodka. But I literally found that out on a run this morning. But anyway, I'll get to the point. So you've got Trangia bottles, not shooting them down. They're great bottles. You know, I've got quite a few varieties here. What I normally do, because I buy a lot of my mess in bulk, what I'll do is I'll then transfer them over into these bottles to keep them inside my shed. Okay, this is an old type SIG bottle. All right. Now the safety valves on the SIG bottle, on the Trangia bottles in particular, obviously a good idea because you've got the you know, the button here that you press down, the lid screws shut there, and the reason being, the whole idea is that I know from my own experience in the past with working with DOV groups and stuff like that, is that what happens, people were using the old type SIG bottle, and then what happens, because there's no cut off on it or anything else, the flame was then shooting up into the bottle and people were injuring themselves. Okay, so that's the whole idea of, you know, that's one reason why this design was sort of brought out. You got this one here, this is an MSR one. Okay, and then at the back there, this one's a Vargo bottle with just a flip top lid. And then what I really want to get at is kind of those bottles that, as I say, because I've been watching some of Neil's stuff, these few bottles here at the front are just upcycled bottles. You know, I mean, you know, we're talking about, people are talking about, you know, it's in the media all the time about, you know, saving money and stuff like that, but maybe an option for newcomers and stuff like that is to maybe use something like this. I mean, my wife threw this bottle out. This was an old oil of oil bottle, okay, and literally, you know, it's got the screw cap lid on it. And then obviously you've got the knob, you've got the little nozzle there to squeeze the mess into your stove of choice. Okay, this one was just an old apple juice bottle from Asda's. Again, very, you know, quite strong. Okay, even though there's a little bit of give in the material, it's still a strong bottle. It's not going to leak mess everywhere. Another one I found was an old fruit shoot bottle, and again, all right, the cap you might potentially lose, but the bottle again is quite safe. Okay, lift that lid up there, and then obviously you can squeeze your material, you can squeeze the meths out, or your fuel of choice. I mean, this vodka bottle that I found, it's actually a really very strong plastic. I suppose the only sort of bad thing about it is the lid, because the lid is obviously like aluminium, so that obviously that can sort of get a bit squashed, but if you're not too silly about it, that'll work fine. And then I've got a hip flask. You see me using this one, got the unicorn tape on it and all that, so obviously I don't put my rum in this one. And so I don't want to go on and on about it, but there's another option as well, just making them upcycling and just using old plastic bottles. All right, so thank you, Neil. I know in his one that he used, I think he said he used like a like the little plastic bottles that you get in the little kits, get from Primark over here in the UK, and they're literally, you know, when you put all your you know, your shampoos and everything else, and I think he said he had a spare one and he uses that to put meths on. Another option, what you can do is not so much this one, but I've actually got other ones where I've wrapped stuff like this around it, okay, just for the winter. All right, so it keeps the meths just a little bit more usable during the winter time, okay. And you can wrap, you know, you can wrap something like that around it just to keep it you know, sort of a tad warmer. Taking a bottle to bed with you, sticking it in your sleeping bag, again, that helps. That'll keep the liquid sort of a little bit more easy to ignite in the mornings. All right, I've even done it where I've used old bits of roll mat, the old foam mats, and I've wrapped them around bottles and all that sort of stuff as well. Okay, so there it is, folks. All right, I didn't really want to go on about it too much, but I want to thank Neil for obviously giving me a little bit of a seed for thought there. And so there you have it, folks. All right, just a quick video on sort of some fuel bottles. Take care, see you later.